get back on the field with my teammates, and it's been a tough deal having to sit out with injury, but really happy to be back. Great day today, and let's get rolling, man. Excited.
Are we talking about a back injury then, and are you 100% now?
Yeah, 100%. I was in camp, had a little bit of a back injury, something that took me longer than I wanted to get right, but great training room, great training staff. Hats off to David Jancy in the training room. He got me right, and just the Vikings organization, man. I feel 100% ready to roll, help this team however I can, and that's starting to get back to practice this week, so super excited.
Tom, what's the best thing you've witnessed about this team since you've begun having to look in from afar a little bit?
I think they just have this chip on their shoulder. We have this chip on our shoulder. Never really been a part of a locker room that kind of has this chip and has the ability to continue to have that chip on your shoulder. But I think it's a lot of guys that have a lot to prove. And from the top down, from the very beginning, it's just been a group of guys that haven't listened to the outside noise. Ownership down, bringing in the right groups of guys, the right types of coaches. And I think we all just mesh well in that respect. We're alike in the fact that we want to go out there and play football. We want to do it together, and we want to do it in the right way.
Hey, Dalton, how long do you think it's going to take you just to get back into football shape?
I'm in football shape, man. I'm ready to roll. I've been ready. I've been healthy for this isn't the first day I've been healthy, so I'm ready to roll. Grateful to be out there practicing today, but I've been ready now. Whenever my name's called, I'll be ready to roll.
I know you've been practicing right guard going back to even the summer.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you kind of feeling?
I'm comfortable at right and left, man. Whatever guard position it is, truly whatever position they want me to play, I'm ready to go. You guys know I just want to play football, you know what I mean? So grateful to be a Viking, grateful to put the pads back on and go out there and move around today. It's something you take for granted when you get to do it for a long time, and you get it taken away from you for a little bit, and it makes you miss it. So, yeah, for sure.
Dalton, your motivation level right now is what?
My motivation level? Oh, my motivation level is through the roof, man. But also, it's like we got such a great group of guys. So I'm grateful to be out there with those dudes. 5-0, the dudes are playing really good, man. As a team, we're playing great as well. So you guys know me when I showed up here last year as well. My motivation level is always going to be through the roof. So if you guys can't tell by my demeanor now, I have that chip on my shoulder as well, too. I have a lot I want to prove, a lot I want to say. But for now, I'm just going to keep it at practice was great today. I'm really grateful to be back. And it's a privilege to be a Viking, y'all.
How do you approach the internal competition element of this?
I think that the offensive line, those guys have played so great, and I've been out since training camp, so I have no right to say anything or do anything. My job is to go out there and just get these boys right and practice. That's all I'm going to do. So whatever they decide to do, whatever it is, I'm just going to roll with the punches and get myself healthy, get myself ready to help whenever I'm called upon. But for me, I don't think that's really in the equation right now just because I have been out for so long, so I just got to take it one day at a time.
Tom, but with that said, there is kind of a brotherhood, especially so on the O-line. Even when you're out, you weren't out on the outside. How is that for you?
Oh, I mean, it's tough because you can't be a part of practice or you can't be a part of lifts, and every day I'm like trying to find ways to watch practice, but I'm having to be in the weight room and I can't lift with the guys either, or I'll be peeking through a window and just wanting to be a part of it. And we're close as an offensive line, we're close as a football team, so I'm out. At the same time, I still get to be with the guys in meetings, and that's great, and I'm a part of that brotherhood, but it's a hard line to try to figure out while you're out, because you're like, man, I can't go out there to practice, I can't lift, I got to make sure I'm doing this stuff by myself or with the trainers, and it's definitely tough. I'm just grateful now to be rolling with the guys in every way, shape, form, but truly when it comes to gelling with the fellas and being around them and mixing in, I've been doing that the last few weeks. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Nobody wants to stop the momentum that you have, especially when you're playing well, feeling good, and playing consistent and good football. But at the end of the day, it's a good mental reset, and you take the bye and you get your time off. But as soon as you're back in this building, we're straight back to work as if we didn't step out at all.
Cam, what is the secret sauce for this defense in terms of you guys spread the wealth? It's not just one person getting a big splash play or coming up when you need it the most.
Right.
What is it?
I'd say everybody's versatility and everybody's eagerness and willingness to play multiple positions, do different responsibilities within the defense, and really it spreads the ball out for us. Offenses always talk about spreading the ball out, but on defense, that's a tough thing to do because we have to get the stops. But really, everybody's able to get turnovers and force turnovers just because everybody's able to do multiple things, and it's really mixing it up for the offenses we're going against. It's hard for them to keep up who's in what spot and who's doing what.
Did you listen at all to any of the shows, national shows, to have a week off and have them just proclaiming the Vikings to be amazing? For a lot of guys on this team, they haven't had that.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that. I don't listen to any of that. All that stuff's poisonous, and I feel like across the whole locker room, nobody's really paying attention to the noise. We know what we have in this locker room. We've known what we've had since OTAs and training camps, so nothing is coming to us by surprise at all. But it's cool that everybody's seeing it, but really nobody's opinion matters to us because we know what we've been working for. We know the type of work we put in every single week for practice.
That's a good place to be.
Exactly. Just block out on the noise and go play football on the weekends. That's really the only mindset we have.
Pretty well. I feel like I made that jump from my second year and my first year to this third year, so I feel like I'm playing pretty well.
Where can you get better?
I feel like in all parts of my game, run game, pass game, I feel like there's no perfect player. I feel like everybody can always continue to get better and better.
You get the reset button, right? You get a little breath of fresh air. Kind of nice to come back 5-0 and perfect still. How is it for you now? Like, there's no rust. You guys seem to be flying high still.
I mean, for me, it's just like the little break was much needed. Everybody gets a little reset. Now we just get to go on to next week and just focus on who we got this week, which is the Lions, and then focus on who we got next week after the Lions, and then so on and so on. That's kind of how it goes.
When you get weapons back soon, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones is feeling good. When you're kind of cresting that way and people are coming back more powerful, that's got to kind of give you guys that unmentionable boost too. Right?
Yeah, it's great having all our guys on the team. I feel like having the most weapons we can is great. Having that comfortability, having all those players back. TJ is a great player. Aaron's a great player. I mean, it's all the weapons we need.
And how would you kind of assess your play through 5 weeks?
I feel like I've been gradually getting better and better.
How do you kind of approach when Dalton's practice window opens? Like, do you think about that, or do you think about it as a conversation?
No, Dalton's my boy. I mean, he's a great player as well. I feel like he deserves the opportunity just like everybody else. So having him back out there is great.
Can competition within the room help?
I feel like competition is always healthy. It pushes everybody to go harder, so you don't get complacent and get comfortable. And I kind of like that.
What is the number one thing that you like about Sam Darnold's play, just even when things get tough? Kind of like that mental toughness that he has to go through.
I mean, just his leadership. I mean, he never puts his head down if he has a bad play. It's always next play mentality. He doesn't focus on what's happened. He focuses on what's next. And he's a great leader, so I love that about him.
Go against, because continue to give us and kind of rank where we need to be at, play the ball we need to play, and continue to do what we already been doing. And that's just playing team defense.
How do you evaluate your play through 5 games?
So far, I feel like there's a lot of things we still can learn from. I feel like it's been fairly well, but there's some things that I feel like we still left out there. Personally for me, I want to get to a point where I get the ball in my hands quite a bit more. But I like the way we've been playing, and like I said, I've been playing a lot of team defense, and I think that's something that we're going to continue on that road. And if that's not me making a play, I hope it's a guy like Gilly or a guy like Murph or a guy like Harry. No matter who it is, I get extra excited. I think more excited when they make a play than I do. So that's the type of defense that we're playing, the type of team defense we're playing, and I think we're going to continue that.
Shaq, what about Stephon and what he's able to do impresses you most as someone who knows what it takes to play that position at as high of a level as he does?
Man, I feel like the main thing is with him, being around so long, seeing so many different things, he's a guy that has no problem giving us those gems, giving us a chance to see what he saw or see things a little bit differently. When I remember when he first took a visit here before he signed, I said, man, I just can't wait for you to get here. I can't wait to pick your brain. I've been around for a while, but a guy with that type of experience, that's something that you can teach me as well. So, man, he's been nothing but great in that room for us. Him and Harry having the most experience together. You talk about close to 26 years put together. That's a lot of experience, and I think that's a lot of guys, especially me and the guys who may be younger, kind of dial in and kind of learn whatever we can learn. And I feel like between being him and to the young guys, we always passing off gems on things that we've seen or things that we may see differently. And I feel like it's helping everybody as a whole, so it's been huge for us.
And for you, what was the earliest point that you can remember of being here where you're this team has a potential to be what you guys have been so far?
This had to be going into minicamp. So this is way before training camp. No, this was early on. The way that everybody attacked OTAs. I've been around for a couple years now, different teams, and I felt like I've seen it a little bit. And it's a different feeling that you get going into OTAs, going into that mini camp and training camp. It felt different. And I never felt so many people so ready to get back, from that break into training camp to get ready to show everybody what we can put on tape. And like I said, everybody got a chip on their shoulder. So I don't think no one buys into all the media or what's going on, what people saying. I feel like everybody got something to prove each week, and I love that about our team.
Do you think that's the type of guys who are here, the culture that is here that makes guess you guys want to come back, or like?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both. I feel like he got a lot of guys, and on both sides, we got some guys that's been around, at least 7 years plus.
Yeah.
Then a lot of those guys complement to the guys who are maybe a little bit younger, and the young guys like to buy in. And I feel like the coaching from the coaches, they give us that opportunity to be able to, hey, you know what, you coach that young guy up. Sure. This is your defense. You know what, hey, you've been around this long, this is your offense. You run how you need to. You get these guys ready for next man up, whatever the case may be. They kind of let us run this locker room how we need to, and we can't do that without the coaches. So I feel like it's a little bit of both, and everybody kind of show their own personality, and it kind of just mixed together really well.
Doc, you talk about Stefan. Also, he has this quiet demeanor about him, right? Just calm. But then he's the assassin, kind of like Harrison Smith on the field. And the vision. How do you translate, or how do you pick a brain or an attitude from a guy like that?
I feel like I understand one thing about the quiet ones. They get comfortable around the ones, and they talk to the ones they really get comfortable around. So he may be quiet around you guys, but when we get a chance to sit down, me, Gilly, or Byron Murphy, when we sit down, we chat for a little bit. We get a chance to actually talk. Harry's the same way, so it's about who he's comfortable around. I feel like around this locker room, Harry and Gilly is one of those guys that are really comfortable around with all the players, or a lot of younger guys, and they get real comfortable. But it's easy to pick those their brains because they're willing to give that knowledge, them gems that they learn over time. And you gotta love guys like that because they're not being paid to give us everything that they learn. It's all a choice, and they chose to give us every gem that they could to help us elevate our games going into the next couple of years, or whatever the case may be, and it helps all the young guys. So I gotta take my hat off to those guys who've been around a long time because they don't have to, but they do it for the betterment. I love that.
Well, Buffalo says he likes smart, tough, good football players, but he wants you to have joy, right? So to kind of have that freedom, especially with guys who've been around the block a little bit who may not have had that freedom, that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, and it's different. And the guys who haven't got a chance to experience that, I got a chance to play with Pete Carroll early in my career, so I got a chance to experience that player, that coach's type ball. Get a chance to let the guys show their real personality and just let it play. Not being here, KO is a lot younger than Pete Carroll, but they got that same, that same type of energy where he let the locker room do what they need to do to play the game that they need to play. And like I said, I think it's the younger guys really that keep the older guys young. So all that excitement, that enjoyment. All that stuff comes from the young guy because there's some real true characters on this team that kind of keep a smile on your face, keep the enjoyment, keep practice easier. It makes it easier to be around this locker room. You got some good guys that put a smile on your face. So I got to give it to the young guys on that one.
And finally, for me, when do you start really looking at the Lions? Did you watch the last game? Have you kind of like had your mental brain kind of picking apart their offense already?
Oh, me being an older head, yeah, I started early. I started early as soon as we got to the bye week. I started prepping, just looking at little things, and then of course I was tuned in to the game. Whatever it took, I got to start working right now. I want to be prepared, and this is my first time getting a chance to face the Lions, the team that they are now, and getting a chance to play them in our division, being with the Vikings for the first year, playing them for the first time. I'm super excited. So, yeah, I've been prepping for a little minute now.
What we're all preaching here. We've all had some sort of success individually everywhere that's probably come here before. Guys who've been here before have kind of had success going into it, and understand, listen, it's good that what we're doing right now, but at the same time, we are nowhere near where we're at and where we want to be in order to sustain what we're trying to build right now.
How about a fine line there too, from being a confident team to being on guard a little bit?
Yeah, that's the battle. I think that's the battle every successful team so far is that not getting complacent yet. You want to be in the moment, but at the same time, you still got to be able to make sure that you want to go out and dominate. You know what I'm saying? So getting to these points it's a great feeling, but it's on us, the vets, the leaders of this team, to make sure that we're not listening to the next team. Make sure the younger guys who never been in this situation before, guys who have, may not be younger guys, but haven't been in this situation, understand how to continue to not just, maintain through here, but to excel and obviously get to where we want to go at the end of the season for sure.
Jonathan, are you the kind of guy that has already been in your brain picking apart the Lions, watching them from afar, what they do?
Yeah. I'm that guy. Yeah, like I'm the guy at home. I could be sitting with my family, wife right there, baby right there. Guys, I'm not talking right now. Like I'm locked in on some film real quick. But they know that, and I love it just because we get to the division. We went to that little, like I said, the gauntlet before the bye week of great teams, and now even now these teams now they're great teams as well. Not to knock them, it's just simple fact of what the stats show on paper. But man, it's about to be a heck of a 12-round fight going into this last stretch, man, because everybody's gonna be gunning for us. But it's great that we started out hot and started out fast, but now it's time for us to put the foot on the gas and take off. I mean, we don't want to continue to keep it here because, as we know, one play and this season could change completely, and that's where people are waiting for us to, either have that play or have that game, and we all in here like, no, we're not letting that happen. We got to make sure that we do what we have been doing the whole time. Don't switch nothing up. What KO and what our coaches have put us through and what we're practicing out there, it works. Like, just continue to just trust in it. When we all are believing it, once the team believes in it as much as KO believes in us, that's when I feel like we'll really, really, really hit our stride. We already believe in a little bit, but we all get on that same path because you got guys. I mean, we're natural, we're human. I mean, you can see the guy can tell you blow smoke up your head all day. Hey, listen, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this and that. But until you see it happen and come to fruition, you see coach like, hey, listen, guys, if y'all just truly believe what I'm saying, this is the truth, and that's what you kind of people are seeing in our post-game speeches, our speeches during the week, during our team meetings. It's that. I mean, KO will have all the fire. We're in it. We're listening to him for sure. We hear everything and we're respecting it. And then there's a little bit of that self-doubt where it's like, hey, is he really blowing smoke or could we be really this good? And I feel like that's where once we get that out of our mind and just play with the fire and the confidence that he has in us, the staff has in us, the city has in us, man, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And the fact that you had that gauntlet, so to speak, at the beginning, you guys know how to quickly, after the bye week, lock back in there, right?
Yeah, and it's tough. I'm glad we had a day today like this just because we can go out there, get through the motions, understand, get your legs back under you. And it also snaps back into it because, hey, listen, hey, we're back in it. I mean, even though it's a Monday, most teams are taking that day off, watching the film or this and that. We're treating it just like as if we just played a game on Sundays to come back, watch film, talk about certain things, go on the field, execute a little couple game corrections, and see how teams are going to expose us. Because at the same time, that's why we're practicing is the big plays that they got on us. The teams that got those plays on us, the next team's going to run the same exact thing. So it's like just making sure we say, hey, listen, lock back in. We had a whole week to chill, get your mind right, get your body right. But we use today is to get your mind right and our body right. And tomorrow I think we're off again. So using tomorrow to truly just clear our mind and say, okay, get rid of everything, get rid of bye week, get rid of all the other stuff. Now we're really locking back in. So I think that's where we needed a day like this today. I'm excited to see what we can do moving forward.